So basically now I'm going to just take you through now. It's what I call the brand archetype obstacle course. So in life, there are these 4 areas which make up our everyday routine. I know people say, I hate routine, I don't have a routine, but I want to say this, you do have, sorry. But so basically your routine is considered at home, work, socially, and me time. But then what actually makes it seem as if you didn't have a routine is because of the different activities that you're having within these different 4 areas. So an activity could be a fight that you had with your mom or your loved one at home, you know, and then an interesting discussion that you had at work, or you went out for a movie, or socially at work, you went for a smoke break, and you just engaged in a very, very like inspiring, or talking a whole lot of like crap with friends or whatever, but it just, you know what I mean? But then that made you, or that contributed to actually making that activity different. But basically, the whole point of that thing is that what it does is so basically what that does basically is who you are at home affects who you are at work, and interchangeably. So who you are at work messes up it affects who you are in your me time and your social time, you know what I mean? So but basically all of these areas, they affect each other. So but then the whole point of these activities basically is to actually highlight to you so if you are this archetype, so at work you are this submissive, innocent archetype, but people walk all over you, you're a doormat. So now to get your point across, you have to now ditch that archetype of yours and become a maverick for once, just to make your point. You know what I mean? So that's why I call this an obstacle course, because basically you find yourself now having to switch to this, having to switch to this, just to get people, put them in their place. Like, listen, I'm this, and you know what I mean? So different activities require you to actually borrow from all these different archetypes just to get your brand across. So and then from there and onwards, so your whole basic responsibility of this now is to actually look at the Bheki that you like and the Bheki that you don't like. And so now every day there's the one that you like and the one that you don't like. But your responsibility is to take the one that you like into the center, which is what I call the happy box. So happy box basically is where this is your idea of a perfect world. This is your idea of how things should be. And then if I ask you today, why aren't you happy? It's easy for you to answer me because you know what belongs in your happy box. You know what I mean? At work, there was this and this. Oh, now it's tampering with what I want to take in there. You know what I mean? So your responsibility is just make sure that you protect your happy box. And then when you borrow these archetypes, you don't become emotional, but you've got a point, you've got purpose, and you've got intent. You know why you're doing this. And then you don't make this personal, it's just to make your point across, and then you come back, and there you are, back in your happy box again. So you are doing like self-management and all that. So now, in your happy box, we have these things that you put up in that world. So now, somebody develops a brand, and they don't know what exists in that happy box. They package it completely in the wrong way, or the baddest way that actually won't belong in your happy box. Obviously, you'll reject that brand. Right? So now, with what this thing does, basically, it highlights how important it is to do a dipstick research and go into that target audience and understand what makes them tick, what's in their happy box. So once you understand what's in their happy space, it helps you model, basically, your product. So understanding, so it says that again. So now your products start enhancing their lives. So now you've got a leadway or a doorway into convincing them why they should actually purchase your product. And then it's again a mismatch. So basically, if your brand and your target customers' beliefs are not aligned, you're going to fail. You know, you're not going to make your point. So basically, now knowing your archetype will help you identify a USP. So USP, yes, another marketing term, but basically unique selling proposition. Basically, what this says basically is, now I know what your archetype is, I know what makes you tick, and I know what you love. So how can I basically enhance your life? Or how do I bring meaning into your life with my product or with this invention? So then how do you go about doing that? I've got this pyramid. So at the bottom of the pyramid, you've got the must-haves. So basically the must-haves is basically everything that you need to get your business set up, in place. Whether it's a product, is it ready? Is it ready to be taken off the shelf? So all those systems, so you have that. But then, once you have all of that, so now you are confident, okay, I've got a product, I've got this, but then, hey, wait a minute, there's competition. there's people who are also competing in that market. So imagine you're this person who came up with just like bottled water, still water, and people are loving it, but everybody's got this, and people are already buying Valpre, and you're coming in and going, so how am I going to sell this? And Valpre is a lead in that sector. So and then some guy came and said, okay, how about I put in sparkling into this? Oh, actually, how about I put in flavor into this? So therefore, I love my plain mineral water. The idea that this water is clean and it's unpolluted, doesn't have any chemicals to it. But hey, I miss the days when I used to have fizz in this. I miss the days. So therefore, you started now ticking into or touching me into those interesting points. So what you're doing now, you're shifting my focus from Valpre to you now, because now you're bringing flavor in town. So you're the fresh flavor bringer in town. You know what I mean? So basically, that's what makes it a USP. So then that becomes your unique selling proposition, and that's what's going to give you confidence to go out there and say, listen, I'm this brand, I'm this product, and I'm going to do this for your life. You know what I mean? And you shout loud, billboards, radio, and everywhere. And then you make the connection to your target audience. And then, so basically, and then also, the USP also speaks to buying behavior and expectation. So in an instance, like, okay, there's students, maybe your target audience is students, is young professionals, or professionals' moms, or DIY. So in my instance, I'm targeting young people and young professionals. So their buying behavior is, when they buy, is when they come to me, is like, okay, they buy as gifts for themselves and for their friends, because they want their clique to look, because I represent this culture. Because when young people, they don't want to be alone and exclusive or the only one wearing this. When you are young, you want to belong in this culture, in this group. So, hey, guy, found out about this nice brand. I think it's cool. I think we should all be part of it. And then everybody gets into it. So that's their buying behavior. And then also the expectations. Because the students don't have money, they're always looking for good deals. So how do I go about actually enticing them and keeping them coming back? Because basically ticking the expectations basically ensures you retention of your respective target audience, and also it keeps them coming back for more. So what I've done is, okay, now I have to make my brand look cool, and they must look cool. So, and also they have to have like presence when they come out there. So now I'm only selling them t-shirts for now, because I'm launching a clothing brand. I'm selling them t-shirts. They love t-shirts, but they don't have money for bags. And a t-shirt, you can't wear it every day. I love this t-shirt, I paid so much for it, and washing it every day is gonna wash out. So how do I stay cool? How do I keep making their presence? So I gave them a free bag. So that becomes like me ticking the box of the expectations. So now, also, it works for me as well. It's like alternative marketing. So there's my manifesto on there, there's a brand in there, people are seeing it, people are talking about it. So, and every time they wear the t-shirt, it's a special occasion. You know what I mean? And then they go back to it every day, so they're in the movement. So the sharp culture is building, So now, what am I saying with pap&zol? So basically, is when you buy a pap&zol t-shirt, you say you're a stable stimulation. So you, in your area of influence, you're the reason people know things. People find out things from you, basically, and you're the reason people love this country. You know what I mean? And that makes you the most important asset of this country. So targeting these young people to believe in that. These are the people that can actually take the attitude forward, taking the country forward, and speaking about us. And also, I also targeted it to be a cross-cultural brand. So where you find some brands are from Soweto, some brands are just from Pretoria, some brands are from Cape Town. It takes a while for you to find out what they are, or sometimes you don't even bother because of the way they package themselves and the way they present themselves to you. So I mean, take for example, if you leave this country, you go overseas, and they ask you, you meet a foreigner, ask you where you're from. You won't say I'm from Sandton or Deep Kloof or Pretoria, you'll say I'm from South Africa. And the world's view of us is that we're that mixed sort of nation. So I had to come up with a brand that my unique selling proposition, when I start exporting it, I'm exporting South African culture. So now I've got this poikikos, the pot in the middle. Zulu people claim is theirs. Xhosa people claim is theirs. Afrikaans people claim is theirs. I'm like, come on, guys, it's ours. So now let's all meet in this one cultural melting pot, and let's now have this thing about us. And then